Welcome to episode 18 of the Roll the Tape podcast. I'm Jacksen White alongside
Aidan McNally
and Jalen McKissick.
So today we're going to be talking about the NCAA Tournament. We're going to be making our picks. Obviously, we'll have one bracket. We won't all have one. We'll have one bracket for the podcast, and we'll pick those on today's show. We're also going to be talking about some NFL things as well. Justin Fields was traded. What's next for the Bears? More free agency news. And as well as that, we'll be talking about the NBA.
For NBA, we have, if playoffs started right now, who are we picking for each first-round matchup? That should be interesting. We're only 15 games away from the playoffs. This season flew by. Jokic or Shea for MVP. I feel like these two have kind of pulled away a little bit, so we're going to be talking about that. And the Mavericks are an interesting team, so are they going to be true title contenders?
And for our ending segment, we're going to have start, bench, cut once again, this time with some NCAA legends in the mix. Also, make sure to follow our socials at Roll the Tape Sports for daily videos, TikTok, Instagram.
So now let's roll the tape and get right into it. NCAA Tournament time. This is always
finally here.
The best time of the year. Let's get right into it with our official bracket. And we'll start at the top. UConn versus Stinson, a 1 versus 16. I'm going to pick UConn.
I got UConn.
I think, yeah.
All right, now let's move along now to FAU, an 8 seed versus the 9 seed Northwestern. And these games are kind of harder to pick. I'll let you guys start.
I'm going to go with Northwestern. I just like their name a little bit more.
I'm going to go with FAU. I mean, this is a team that obviously made a Final Four run last year. Boo Buie is probably the best player in this matchup.
Boo Buie.
For
Such
Northwestern.
a great name.
But
Let's
I'm going to go
Boo.
with I'm gonna roll with FAU.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Owls as well. Obviously, like you said, going to the Elite Final Four last year.
Yeah, Final Four.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Owls. By the way, we don't really know too much about college basketball, so just letting you know, we might just pick stuff off colors. You never know. Moving along now to the 5-seeded San Diego State versus the 12-seeded UAB. And this one also can go either ways because the 5 and 12 is always interesting, but I'm going to take the 5-seed San Diego State.
I'm taking the Aztecs as well. The Aztecs, they made it to, the Elite Eight last year?
No,
Final Four?
National championship.
They won national championship last year. I think they have that pedigree to make it again.
Yeah, I think UAB is a very good team. Don't get me wrong; they have a great resume, but like Jalen said, they made it to the national championship last year. They know what it takes. Give me the Aztecs.
So you're taking who?
San Diego.
San Diego State.
Okay.
San Diego State Aztecs.
I didn't know their mascot. And I'm like the Aztecs. I was looking. Is that a
great name.
dragon for UAB? But, all right, moving along now. So far we've picked UConn, FAU, and San Diego State. Moving along, 4 versus 13, Auburn versus Yale, and Auburn.
Yeah. I could see an upset, but yeah,
That's
Auburn.
crazy. Yes. BYU versus
Duquesne.
Yep. The 6 versus the 11, and you guys start.
Before this whole thing, I did not know who Duquesne was. Obviously, I know who BYU is, but I'm gonna roll with the Duquesne, whatever their mascot
Oh
is.
my.
I'm rocking with Duquesne. They are the Dukes. The Duquesne Dukes.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm rolling with Duquesne.
Oh my.
Duquesne was
My
what I was
vote
picking.
doesn't
Okay.
matter.
No, it does not.
So
BYU's gone.
I just wanna
Duquesne
say,
just moved on.
last year, nobody really heard of Furman. They beat Virginia on a buzzer beater. Nobody heard of Duquesne. I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to pull it off.
Facts.
Give me the Dukes.
BYU is very good this year.
And
Duquesne.
produce
All
good
right,
every year.
Moving along. Yeah, they'll still lose to some little teams. Watch out. The Peacocks are back.
Peacocks are back.
All
Giving
right.
Zach Edey nightmares.
Moving along now, Illinois versus Morehead State, the 3 versus the 14, and these games kind of are interesting to call. The BPI rank for these teams, Illinois is 12, and what's their mascot? The Eagles are 101.
Yeah, that's all I needed to hear. Give
Yeah,
me the
give me
Fighting Illini.
Give me the Fighting Illini.
Illinois moves on. Now Drake versus Washington State. Two interesting teams here, a 7 versus a 10, and these you can kind of pick some upsets.
I'm going to go Drake here. I think they have a few solid players on their team. I know they have a couple guys this year that I think are averaging. I think they have one that's averaging 20. I saw one's averaging 30 over the last, 5 games, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They're red hot. I'll go with Drake.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Drake, too. I think it's just God's plan.
God's plan.
I think it's just God's plan for Drake to move on.
Yeah, Drake, I mean, they score the ball. I'm going to agree with you guys. I'll take them to move on. Now we have Iowa State versus South Dakota State, the 2 versus the 15. And Iowa State this season has been on a mission. They've been really a top 10 team all season long, and I think that continues on, at least in this tournament. I have them beating South Dakota State.
Yeah, Iowa State's a great team, but Tyrese Halliburton is in a very big slump right now, so I'm going to go with South Dakota State here. And I'm just kidding. I'll go Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa State, the team that George Niang built.
Sure.
Don't sleep on George
Pacers
Niang.
Did we pick FAU or Northwestern?
We picked FAU. I mean, yeah, we picked FAU. I picked Northwestern. You two picked FAU.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along to the west side of the bracket, North Carolina versus 16 Wagner. North Carolina.
It's
North
UNC.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's a good one. Michigan State versus Mississippi State. Both teams is an 8-9 matchup. Both teams have, versus top 25 teams, struggled. They both have a losing record by multiple games against top 25 talent, but I'm going to take Michigan State. Obviously, Tom Izzo, one of the best coaches ever. Had a chance to see him recruiting a few times, calling high school games. So he's a guy who's a good coach, and I'm going to take them to move on.
I'm going to go with Mississippi State here. Me personally, I don't think Michigan State should have gotten in over teams like Indiana State, and there's one more team I forgot about. So I'm going to go with Mississippi State here.
I'm going to go with Michigan State because, like Jackson said, the head coach, Tom Izzo, is one of the greatest of all time in college basketball.
All right, so Michigan State moves on. Now we have the 5-seeded taking on the 12-seeded St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. Now these 5 and 12s, obviously, they all kind of are interesting, but all season long, SMC has been really good, but I think this is back and forth. I'm going to take St. Mary's.
I'm going to take St. Mary's as well.
I'm taking Grand Canyon, but I guess it doesn't matter because
Doesn't matter.
because my co-hosts pick differently.
Oh, well. Alabama versus Charleston. The 4 versus the 13. They're the same colors.
It's Bama.
And, Bama averages 90 a game.
Yeah.
Bama's
Bama.
very good
Absolute
this season.
flamethrower team. Doesn't play defense, but they can flamethrow.
I think they're probably the most high-powered offense in the country.
Mhm.
I'm taking Bama.
Now we have Clemson versus New Mexico, the 6 versus 11. And I'm going to take New Mexico here to win versus Clemson.
I got New Mexico.
I was
as
going
well.
to take New Mexico too.
Hey,
Dang,
here we go.
3-0
All
sweep.
3 taking the 11
I
over
guess
the
we
6.
just don't like Trevor Lawrence and Clemson.
Boo-hoo, long hair boy. Baylor versus Colgate on the 3 versus the 14. And, I'm going to take the 3 Baylor.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't had necessarily the best season ever, they're still a solid team that had 23 wins. So
Yeah, I'm
gonna
taking the
take Baylor.
Bears.
I'm taking Baylor.
Now we have Nevada versus Dayton, the 7 versus the 10. And this could go either way for me, but I'm going to take the 10-seeded Nevada.
I like Nevada as well. Dayton's good, but I just have a feeling Nevada's going to pull this off.
Dang, I'm really the only one taking Dayton?
And it don't matter. Moving along, Arizona versus Long Beach State. Jalen, you get to start. Go ahead.
We're going with Zona.
Yeah, I think
Zona.
Arizona has it.
Arizona moves on. Moving along now to the south. Houston versus Longwood. We have the Cox and Longwood in the tournament this year. I'll take Houston.
Yeah, Houston is probably the best team in the country, you could argue. I'm going to take Houston.
I'm taking Houston.
All right, here's another one. We have Nebraska versus Texas A&M. This is an 8-9 matchup, and this could go either way for me.
I'm going to take Nebraska. I forget what his name is, but I think he's like number 30 with the headband.
Oh,
I sound
you
like
took
such
the
a
Asian Steph
casual-
Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I sound like
Asian
such
stuff.
a
Have you never
casual-
seen him?
Yeah, I saw a video. of it.
Okay, his name is Kasei. It's either Kasei or Kasai Tominaga.
Yeah. I sound like
Oh,
such a
Tominaga?
casual.
Yeah,
He averages
Tominaga.
15.
Yeah,
He's their leading
But
scorer.
he's a guy
flamethrower.
that he can get 30. If he's on, I'm going Nebraska.
I'm going A&M. I like their. I like Wade Taylor or Taylor Wade. My bad.
Well, I'll take Nebraska.
You taking Nebraska? You taking
I
the
have
Asian
to
Steph
take
Curry?
The Asian Steph Curry. All right, we
You
had the
already
5
did this
versus the 12, Wisconsin versus James Madison, and I'm going to take James Madison here. They are 31-3. They average 84 points per game. They're undefeated versus top 25 teams, and I think it's an upset I like to see. I'll take JMU.
I would love to take James Madison here, but I think Wisconsin's one of those underrated teams, one of those teams that their record doesn't really show how good they are. They are a team that was one of Purdue's 4 losses this season. They
Yeah.
know what they have to do to win.
They're a good team, but I look at 13 losses, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
JMU had 3.
I'm
Well,
taking Wisconsin.
I'm sorry, Aidan, but your opinion was
Yes.
is invalid. We're taking James Madison.
James Madison is moving on.
All right.
Vermont versus Duke, 4 versus 13. Who do you guys got?
I'm taking the patent nails of Jared McCain.
I could see it's crazy because I can see Duke losing this game. Just the way they played in the ACC tournament against
So who do
NC
you
State. I want to take Vermont. It's probably Duke though.
Taking Duke. All right,
The
Duke moves on.
Dukies.
NC State versus Texas Tech. Texas is 6. NC State is an 11. Who you guys got?
I'm
NC
going
State.
I'm going NC State here.
Wow, Texas Tech moves out of the tournament.
Yes, sir.
I
Who are
would
you gonna take?
Texas Tech, but oh well. Now Kentucky versus Oakland, the 3 versus the 14. Obviously, Kentucky has been very good this year, almost averaging the same amount as Alabama with 89 a game. They're very solid. They have a winning record versus teams in the top 25. And while Oakland is just Oakland, I'm taking Kentucky.
I'm taking Kentucky.
Kentucky.
All right, now we have an interesting one is the 7th seed Florida takes on Boise State or
Or Colorado.
Colorado. I want to take any of those teams over Florida. Florida's not that good to me.
Bro just does not like Florida.
I'm taking Florida. I don't, the only way I won't take Florida is Colorado because I do know that Colorado's team. Oh my
They're
goodness,
solid. They're
Colorado's
not that
team is
bad.
good.
If Colorado wins between them
You
and
just got to
Boise,
make a pick. Florida or one of the two, Boise or Colorado.
I'm taking Florida.
I'm taking Colorado.
Yes, they move on.
They have Cody Williams. They have a top 3 draft prospect.
True.
In a
All
weak
right, we have the
draft.
2 seed Marquette versus the 15 seed Western Kentucky. And why are you taking Western Kentucky?
I'm taking Western Kentucky.
Are you actually?
Yeah, Western Kentucky, right next to where I was born at. So I'm taking Western Kentucky.
By the way, their BPI rank is 159.
Western Kentucky. Let's ride.
Marquette has arguably, the second best player in the nation. Western Kentucky does not.
I'll take Marquette.
I'm going Marquette.
All right, now
Don't sleep.
we have the Midwest Division.
Oh, I am snoozing. I am snoozing on Western Kentucky.
And we have the 1-seeded Purdue versus the 16-seeded. I don't
One
even.
seed per.
I don't
know
know
what?
the teams, but I'm taking them.
I'm taking the 16th seed here.
I'm taking Grambling State. If Grambling State wins, they're beating Purdue. It's just that simple.
Okay, for
I
real.
mean, I
though.
wouldn't be
I'm
surprised.
taking Purdue. I'm taking Purdue.
Purdue, yeah.
But I see it being a game. It's gonna be a close game down to the stretch.
I
Purdue
see
likes
it
to
being.
lose.
You take Zach Edey out of the paint. Purdue is not a top 25 team in the nation. They're not good.
Bottom 25.
Yeah.
All right, here we go now. TCU versus Utah State, the 8 versus the 9. I'll take TCU.
I'm taking Utah State. Only 6 losses on the year.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I got to go with Utah State here.
All right, I get overvoted. Now moving along, Gonzaga versus McNeese.
McNeese.
We're taking McNeese, baby. We're
yes,
taking
sir.
McNeese.
You
I
know
like
how it
McNeese.
is. McNeese.
McNeese.
All right, moving along now. Kansas versus Samford. Not Sanford. Sam Ford.
Ford.
And that's who I'm taking. Give me Sam
No
Ford.
way.
I'm taking Kansas.
It's Kansas.
Oh, come on. They average 86 points per game.
Yeah, they also have Bill Self coaching against them. So
That is true.
They're called Sam Ford. They have 5 losses.
They do only have 5 losses, but they're gonna have 6 after this game.
Just wait, bro. What's their mascot?
A
The
dog.
Dogs.
that's
The
it.
Sam Ford Dogs.
I think that's a pit bull.
No way.
Nah.
That's a bulldog.
Hold
That's
on,
a
be a
hold
bulldog.
on. Let
dog.
me check. Is it actually dogs?
No, it's that's a bulldog. I don't think it's just dogs.
No way.
It can't be
Sam
just
The
dogs.
Ford
Sanford
Dogs.
Dogs.
Actually,
Because
if, they-
there's some dogs.
if their name is dogs, I'm gonna have to pick Sanford.
Same. I'm not gonna.
What's
lie.
their
That's-
name? I thought you were looking at
Let me see.
Sam
For
Ford Dogs. Because
dogs.
they're
Yeah,
a
I
bunch of
can't lie.
dogs.
It's Bulldogs.
It's bulldogs. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. All right. Never mind.
Never
Picking
mind.
Kansas. But if it was dogs, Sanford, you're winning my national championship.
Just imagine a bunch of dogs coming out on
Dogs.
that. I don't know what you do. Uh-oh. Kansas. What are the Jayhawks? No, we the dogs.
We the
We the
dogs.
Sure,
shout out
I'd be
Sanford.
scared if I was Kansas. If I was playing a team named the Dogs.
And not just D-O-G.
Imagine.
D-A-W-G-S.
The
G-A-W-G-S.
dogs.
I'm like, here's my forfait ticket. Y'all got it.
Y'all got it.
We really have McNeese and Sanford playing in the second round. That's crazy. All right.
Wait, Sanford moves on?
I thought we picked Kansas.
Oh.
I picked Kansas.
Oh yeah.
Let's just
Kansas.
do Sanford for the memes, you know?
Now we can't.
Nah, we can't. We gotta make
man.
this
They're
realistic.
the Bulldogs. They're not that cool. If they're the Dogs, then like I said, they're winning the national championship. But they're not.
All right, moving along now. South Carolina versus Oregon, the 6 versus the 11. And I say here we'll probably go with the same.
We're taking the Cox.
Yeah, I like South Carolina.
The Cox.
Hey, I can say that in this context because
I prefer
name is the
the
game.
St. Peter's Cox, but whatever.
Okay, well, that's two different Cox. We gotta be talking about the same Cox. So
Yeah, that's
All right,
my
on to the
bad.
next one.
The 3-seeded Creighton versus
Akron.
Akron.
Big Ac.
Maction.
And I'll
We
take
got a MAC team.
Creighton.
Yeah, I'm taking Creighton.
It's Creighton.
The MAC is not good.
Yeah.
Moving along now, Texas versus Colorado State. The 7 versus the 10, and this one's going to be interesting. Teams really, they average and allow around the same amount. I'm going to go ahead and take the 10-seeded Colorado State.
I'm taking Texas.
I'm taking Texas. I think they're too.
I'm
They
sorry,
just don't see
Jackson.
the vision.
I
All
guess
right,
I
moving
don't.
along now, number 2, Tennessee versus my favorite team ever, the 15-seeded St. Peter's Peacocks. Give me the
Oh my
Peacocks.
goodness.
As much as I want to put the.
Aiden, are we on the same page?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee.
What?
Yeah, Tennessee. Let's
What?
move on.
I would love to put St. Peter's in the next round, but they don't have one person.
Now look,
Doug
if
Edert.
St. Peter's
Just
was
wait.
the 16th seed and they were playing Purdue, I'm taking St. Peter's
Oh,
100%
all
of
day.
the time.
Yeah.
But since they're playing Tennessee and not Purdue, I gotta move Tennessee forward.
Also, can we pay our respects to FDU for not being in the tournament this year?
R.I.P.
The team that beat Purdue, unfortunately, did not make it again.
Indiana State should have been in the tournament.
Man,
this
they should have
year,
been.
but-
I think they should have been in over Michigan State, but that's just me. All right, moving on.
Oh, well. Moving along. And back up to the East Conference here. UConn versus FAU. I'll take UConn.
It's UConn.
I was gonna take FAU, but I guess I'm overruled.
All right, now we have Auburn versus San Diego State. The 5 and the 4 are going at it. Give me San Diego State.
I agree.
I was gonna go Auburn.
No
Well, dang.
All right, Jalen, you start.
Okay,
Denise or
Duquesne.
Duquesne
Duquesne, I'm
versus
taking-
Illinois.
I'm taking the Fighting Illini. No way, y'all taking.
I just like Duquesne for some reason. I don't know. I'll say Duquesne,
I'll
but
take Illinois.
okay, it doesn't even matter.
Iowa
anyway.
State versus Drake. The 2 versus the 10.
I'm taking Drake.
I'm taking Drake. I'm taking Drake.
I'm taking Drake.
Wow,
God's plan. I told
Iowa
you.
State gets eliminated. I didn't even get to pick. North Carolina versus Michigan State. Aiden, go.
It's UNC.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. North
It's
Carolina.
UNC. Yeah.
Alabama versus St. Mary's. The 4 versus the 5. Give me Alabama.
Give me Bama.
I'd take Mary's, but since I got overruled,
You got overruled, my boy.
Baylor versus New Mexico. The 3 versus the 11. Jalen, go ahead.
Baylor.
Okay.
New Mexico.
Wow, it's up to me. I'll take New Mexico.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
Arizona versus Nevada. The 2 versus the 10. I'll take Arizona.
What's New Mexico's mascot?
The A.
Uh,
Wait, New Mexico?
Oh no, they're like the hobos, I think.
their name is not the Hobos. There's no way.
No, New.
It looks like a cat.
That was
No, it's the not the hobos, the lobos.
the Lobos. The Hobos. Imagine there's just a
I
whole
knew
bunch
it
of
was
homeless
something
people.
like with obos. All right,
What was the last one? I'm
Arizona versus Nevada.
sorry. Arizona.
Arizona.
Okay, now back down to the South Division. Houston versus Nebraska. The 1 versus the 8.
Houston.
Houston. Yeah.
All right, Houston moves on. James Madison versus Duke.
James Madison.
James Madison.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Kentucky versus NC State. The 3 versus the 11.
Kentucky.
I'll take Kentucky.
It's Kentucky.
Now we have
Do you
Marquette
have any bias in
versus
this, or do you
Maybe a small bit.
Marquette versus
Boise or
Boise
Colorado?
State or Colorado.
Marquette.
Yep, Marquette. Purdue versus Utah State.
As much as I want to,
It's Purdue.
I'm taking Purdue. As much as I don't want to.
I don't know though. It's close. It'll be.
Give me
close.
Utah. I'm just, Purdue. All right, now McNeese versus Kansas.
We already know.
McNeese.
McNeese. Yes, sir, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
McNeese
baby.
going to the Sweet 16. Creighton versus South Carolina.
Give me the Cox.
I will have to agree, Aiden. You get ruled out.
I was
Creighton's
gonna say
gone.
Creighton.
You gonna say Creighton?
Yeah.
Tennessee versus Texas. 7 versus 2.
It's Tennessee.
Tennessee. Because they're the only 10 I see.
Oh.
Okay, buddy. All right, moving along. San Diego State versus UConn.
I'm taking the Huskies.
I'm taking San Diego State.
It's up to you, Jackson.
Can be the Huskies.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
What's the
Illinois
reason?
versus Drake. The 3 versus the 10.
You know
Illinois.
what?
It's Illinois.
Give me Drake.
Give me Drake.
Yes, sir.
Give me Drake. It's God's plan.
You're
I already
serious?
told you.
Yes.
Hey, serious. Give me Drake.
Okay,
Illinois
Drake's
is
not that
good
good.
against top teams.
Hey.
They're not.
Hey,
Drake is not a top team.
you don't know that.
You don't
maybe,
know that.
Maybe they'll turn it on.
They will be a top team whenever they play in the Sweet 16.
All right.
Man.
Going down to the West, North Carolina versus Alabama.
UNC.
North Carolina.
I would take Bama. Give me North Carolina then. Arizona versus New Mexico. 11 versus the 2.
New Mexico.
Zona.
Give me New Mexico.
Let's go.
All right, we got Houston versus James Madison.
Give me Houston. James Madison's run-ins here.
It's Houston.
Womp. Kentucky versus Marquette. The 3 versus the 2.
You know.
The Wildcats.
I'll take Marquette.
It's Marquette.
Purdue versus McNeese.
Honestly,
give me McNeese. Purdue's running.
Aidan, who do you got? Aidan,
It's not crazy to say.
Aidan, who do you got?
I'm going to go McNeese.
Okay, I was going to go McNeese anyway.
McNeese is moving to the Elite Eight. South Carolina versus Tennessee. 6 versus the 8.
Tennessee.
Yeah. All right, here we go. The final.
The Elite Eight.
The Elite Eight.
4 games. The Elite Eight. UConn versus Drake.
UConn.
It's UConn.
Drake's run-ins here.
Okay. So North Carolina versus New Mexico.
New Mexico. They already made it this
Give
far.
me the Lobos. New Mexico.
New Mexico is going to the Final 4.
I just don't have 4 1
Houston
seeds.
versus Marquette.
Houston.
I'll have to agree, Houston.
Yes, sir.
McNeese versus Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Give me McNeese. Tennessee, though, advances.
All right.
All right, our Final 4. We have 4 teams left. We have Houston versus Tennessee, and we have UConn versus New Mexico, the Lobos. Who you guys got, UConn or New Mexico?
Aidan, you go first.
UConn.
It's up to you, Jalen.
Honestly,
Okay, think about it like this. Think about it like you have money on this
if
game.
I have money on the game,
I swear to God.
if I have money on the game, $100 down, win 1,000, I'm picking New Mexico State.
I'm taking the Lobos. They're going to the state championship. Not the
No.
state championship, the national championship.
You
All
gotta
right.
believe, Aidan.
All right, South.
It's an
Midwest.
11 seed.
Here we go. Houston versus Tennessee, a chance to lose to the Lobos.
I'm picking Houston.
Give me Houston.
Okay, I was going to say Tennessee.
Now we got Houston
I
versus
swear
New
to
Mexico.
If you guys say that New Mexico wins the national
Jalen, you go
championship,
first. Natty, for the Natty.
be for real.
I'm being for real.
Think about it.
I'm thinking hard. Long and hard. If I had to put money down, the 11 seed already made it this far. Why would they make it? Don't get up. Don't get
He's
up.
walking
Sit back
out.
down. If to make it this far as an 11th seed and to not finish the job would be one of the worst failures in this program's career.
Dang.
So what does that mean? They go out here and dominate.
Dominate is crazy.
The Lobos
right.
win by 30.
So you're going to take Houston.
Yes.
Give me the Lobos.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, my pick to win it all has to be, I'll find him. 1 second.
McNeese?
Nah.
No.
It was probably a team that we voted out, right?
Yeah.
Who? Tennessee?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Sanford.
The Dogs.
The Dogs.
It's either the Dogs for me or McNeese. That's my two favorites. I don't know.
For real though, my favorite is probably Tennessee.
My favorite's
Tennessee.
actually Houston, but I had to pick New Mexico State.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we know the true answer. It's Houston.
Well,
Roll the Tape Sports picked
already
Houston to win
picked
the
New
national
Mexico.
he
championship.
picked New Mexico. We both picked New Mexico.
You just said that your favorite was Houston.
For other
All right,
drafts,
do we need to go back and make some changes? or
No, this is good.
So New Mexico's
This is
winning it all.
God awful.
Hey, what's
this is
the-
terrible.
What's the championship game score? What's the combination?
We going
Houston versus New Mexico? It's 84-54 Houston.
switch that around.
We
Flip
need
it.
total scores.
Total scores?
Uh-huh.
162. I'm joking. Like
The
one
Lobos are scoring 100 of that.
153.
I think it'd be Houston versus New Mexico. I'd probably say like 120.
You don't think they're going to score 60? 60 each?
130.
I'll say 142.
I think it'll be like a 70. I think it'll be like a 70-60 game in Houston.
142 sounds about right.
142 is what we went with. It is official. Your roll the tape national champions, the New Mexico Lobos.
Aidan, you've been
You know what?
overruled.
I liked them through the first 4 rounds, but anything past the Elite Eight is ridiculous.
You've been outvoted, Aidan. It's just how it rolls. You should have made a better argument to why they shouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
You didn't make a good enough
It's your
argument.
fault.
Yeah, that's on me, guys.
It is your fault.
Apologize to the listeners.
Let's just talk about the NFL.
Moving along now to the NFL. Obviously, there's been signings. It's free agency frenzy, but we'll start right off with trade. Justin Fields has found a new home, which will be located in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Justin Fields, you are a backup quarterback.
You are the next Trey Lance.
The next Trey Lance is crazy.
It just is honestly crazy. Justin Fields was talked about being the starter of this Bears team, being the leader, the activist, to lead them to the Super Bowl, and then gets traded to be Russell Wilson's back.
Were there actually talks about him being the Super Bowl contending quarterback?
No,
Okay.
there were a few things that were like, there. I think the most the crazy. Hold on, let me think about this. The highest it got was him being in MVP talks, just because.
He's now a backup.
Josh Allen in his
Backup.
third year. Josh Allen in his third year, he got Stephon Diggs and he took that superstar jump. Jalen Hurts, he got AJ Brown in his third year. He's gonna take that superstar jump. Oh, Justin Fields gets DJ Moore his third year. Is it gonna happen? And it just did not.
It did not happen.
Now he's backing up a man who
What?
is unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited. Yes, sir.
Mr. Unlimited.
Hey, next year, though, when Russell
Steelers
Wilson's
Nation, let's
gone,
welt.
when Russell Wilson might be gone, it's Justin Fields'
Actually,
team.
Justin Fields reminds me of the perfect quarterback to go 9-8 every year and miss the playoffs.
But that still keeps Mike Tomlin's record intact. So at the end of the
I
day,
think Justin Fields. I feel like Pittsburgh is the perfect fit for Fields. Personally,
I agree. Like
With
on an
it-
actual
with,
standpoint, yeah.
him and Atlanta. I think Atlanta would have been a good fit as well. But I think this is really good for Justin Fields to be a backup behind a guy who is a Super Bowl champion. You know, who's had that experience, had that playoff experience, had that Super Bowl experience. I think he's a great mentor. I think he can really turn Justin Fields' career around. Not like it's in the dirt or anything. Not like, oh yeah, he's going to be a backup for the rest of his career. Because I think
definitely
even if Russell Wilson plays
he'll sit a
bad, I
year
think-
under Wilson.
I think Justin Fields starts a few games this year.
what, off of Russell injury or Russell
If
or
he
him
plays
outplaying
bad.
Russell?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I have seen bets that he's starting by week 10.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
not crazy to say that.
I mean, they already obviously ruled Russell Wilson the starter. He is the QB1. But, I mean, you're not going to tell me Russell Wilson's, not going to take a little dink and Justin Fields isn't going to go in.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they bring him in certain sets.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
like
not
run,
be
like,
surprised
RPO
that
sets?
he comes in and
That's what the
plays
Bears
just a
did
few
his
sets.
rookie year. It was Andy Dalton starting Justin Fields' rookie year. And, they'd bring Justin Fields in
Because, I mean,
for-
Justin Fields, let's be honest, he's a phenomenal running back. And
he's a great runner. He really
he's
is.
a great runner. It's almost like he could change positions.
Yeah.
No, but I do think we could definitely see some Fields. I also think if Wilson, let's say he does play bad, I mean, I don't see any reason why. I mean, you could easily just cut him. He's on a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a win-win for Pittsburgh because it's either you get an elite Russell Wilson or you get a guy who could possibly be that franchise guy or just the bridge to the next guy.
Yeah.
Is this the last year of Fields' contract? Is this his fifth year?
This will be his fourth
This
year.
will be his fourth year, and then
So
they have to.
after he plays this season, they'll have an option to either let him
Fifth
be free agent or pick up his fifth year, which I assume
They probably will.
But now
I don't know. They traded a salted pretzel for him, so.
So now we move along and look at the Bears, who traded away Justin Fields for a bag of chips. And, now they have the first overall pick, and we all know what's coming.
Yeah.
On draft
Drake
night,
May.
I believe in April,
Bunny.
Drake May will become a Caleb Williams will become a Chicago Bear at around 8:07 on that day.
I'm writing that
Because the
down.
draft starts at 8.
Yes.
And usually it takes they get 10 minutes to pick, and they usually pick about 3 minutes left on the clock.
They might get that in with like 30 seconds.
Well, you'd think they do that, but they always make you wait.
They
They
milk it
always-
a little bit.
I do remember Jaguars Trevor Lawrence draft. literally, it took them almost the whole 10 minutes to get the selection.
Same with
it's like, dude.
Same with Cleveland. Whenever they took Baker, it took
It's
them
like,
10
dude,
minutes
we
too.
know who you're taking. Like,
Same with
you know who you're taking.
Cincinnati and Burrow. I mean, they're going to take probably 7 minutes, and then they're going to say
The
Caleb.
Jaguars are also the same franchise that picked Trayvon Walker
First overall.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
And also lost like 8 of the last 9 games and missed the playoffs to the Houston Texans with a rookie quarterback.
Certified
Also, the
Jacksen
team
over
that never mind.
Okay,
but moving on to a player that was on the Jaguars last season, now free agency news, by the way. Calvin Ridley staying in the AFC South, going out to the Tennessee Titans on the most craziest deal I've ever seen in my life. 4 years, $92 million. What is going on in Tennessee, and where can I get it?
I mean, oh my gosh, this was one of the. No, it is the biggest overpay in free agency this year.
I mean, it's just insane. He
For
is
a
legitimately almost 30 years old.
For a 29-year-old wide receiver, and I know he's played probably 4 years worth of NFL football, 5 years worth of NFL football because of injuries and then obviously the gambling situation last year. But seriously, 4 years, $92 million for a guy we haven't seen to be elite since he had prime Matt Ryan as his quarterback. And then you're going to hand him.
I would never say he's ever been elite. He's a good receiver, but he's not a receiver 1. To me, he's a 2.
I think wide receiver. I think Calvin Ridley was wide receiver 1. After Julio Jones left, he was a wide receiver 1.
I mean, he was a 1, yeah, but I don't believe on a winning team he's a 1.
Well, he's not a wide receiver 1 anymore. I'd say.
Now he's a 2.
Well, now he's a 1 in Tennessee.
No, he's not. It's Hopkins still.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
D-Hop.
Oh,
Yeah.
the retirement home in Tennessee. Oh, I forgot.
They are building a retirement home.
So
Oh, that's.
I don't know. I think obviously we saw how that went last year with Trevor Lawrence. Now Trevor Lawrence didn't play well at all, and I think Will Levis's best still probably isn't as good as Trevor Lawrence's
Hey,
mid.
you never know.
But you never know. Will Levis
Maybe-
comes take that sophomore jump.
Maybe Mayo Boy comes out and balls out.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this wide receiver room works next year with Hopkins and Ridley. Because if it turns out well, AFC South is going to be a
AFC South's going to be a good division.
great division.
The move doesn't really scare me until I see Will Levis improve. He was all right his rookie year. He wasn't, C.J. Stroud level good, but he was solid for the time that he started. He took the starting job from Ryan Tannehill after a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
definitely.
I feel like I could take the starting job from Ryan Tannehill.
Nah, once Ryan Tannehill got hurt, and then they just said, we're just going to tank at this point. And then,
He did have a crazy first game where he threw 4 touchdowns and then finished with 6 on the season.
was that the Miami game? No, the Miami game was later on where he beat Miami. When he beat Miami, that was impressive. That was probably his best game. Well, would you say his first game was the best game, or was the Miami game his best game?
Whatever the game, he had 4 touchdowns in.
So it was the first game?
Yeah.
Okay. The Miami game was
Statistically,
impressive.
but that
too.
The way
Miami
he
game,
stepped
let
in-
him down.
the way he
scored
stepped
to win it.
into that role, and
Will Levis is not bad.
No, he's good.
I've actually liked him in the draft last season for the Colts.
Over Richardson?
At certain points, yes.
I never thought Will Levis over Richardson.
I thought it was
I was
close.
really scared about Richardson, how rough he'd be.
yeah,
I thought he would come in here
you
and
think
just
he was
be
gonna
a
be raw?
doorknob.
I thought Will Levis was probably going to be a little bit better than Anthony Richardson. I thought he was better than him in college. In the NFL, I think Anthony Richardson would probably translate a little
I
better.
thought
little bit
Richardson
better.
had all the ability in the world. I just didn't think he.
Well, not in my mind that I think that Anthony Richardson was going to come in here and start first game, especially when we signed Gardner Minshew. So after we signed Gardner, I was like, okay, we can draft Richardson and let him sit. But then we started him, and he still looked good or solid enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, but until Will Levis improves mightily, this move doesn't really scare me at all.
Yeah. But moving along now to a team that made a trade as well. The Bears, who did trade Justin Fields, also made a trade for Keenan Allen, which was kind of out of nowhere.
9 o'clock at night?
9 o'clock at night.
It was
and
10 p.m.
They gave
on
away
a
what they
Saturday.
give away? Not much.
A fourth rounder.
A fourth rounder for Keenan Allen, who, by the way, missed 4 games and still had very well over 1,000 yards last season.
Yeah.
So Keenan Allen is a very good receiver still, coming off a little bit of injury problems, but he steps into a role where he's not the receiver 1 anymore. The Bears next season now with Keenan Allen, they go out and they sign a decent running back. You're going to obviously have Caleb Williams and as quarterback. The Bears could have a really good offense next year if they play their cards right.
They should have a top 10 offense, really, in terms of personnel.
If Williams' game translates to the NFL and he plays to a point of just average, the Bears, I think, can be a playoff team next year.
I think that's that's what they're aiming for.
I think Caleb Williams, after this Keenan Allen trade, I think Caleb Williams is going into a situation that no other rookie quarterback has ever really gone into before. Thinking about it, Joe Burrow had T. Higgins, and that was it.
His rookie year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence had who? Like LaVisca Chenault, DJ Chark.
Zay Jones was probably his wide receiver.
Zay Jones. I mean, this guy has DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. He has veteran receivers that can mentor him, build chemistry with. These wide receivers are going to know what they're doing. I think there's, it's still early in the offseason enough to, bond over the offseason, get things working, get that team chemistry up. If Caleb Williams plays like he did at USC, I think the Bears could definitely make the playoffs, and they could have even this year with how.
I mean, they were close. So I do think with Caleb Williams, with the receivers, Cole Kmet, top 10 tight end, the offensive line a little shaky, but I think they'll sum it up in the draft.
Yeah.
Have they signed any?
They signed the starting center from the Rams. I forget what his name is, but he was the starter.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, the Bears, I don't think their problems lie necessarily after this draft on the field. I think their problems lie in the coaching.
I agree.
I don't think their head coach is good. And then imagine, I watched him in Indianapolis, and he played the weakest cover 2 defense I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Gus Bradley's up there.
You want to see?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You know how many leads the Colts blew in 2021? Like 8.
I know. I watched some of the games.
Should be the Bucks who won the championship that year. They should have beaten. I mean, God. Carson
Matt Eberflus
14-win season. If Matt Eberflus could just run.
But then again, he did also lead us to some couple top 10 defensive seasons. He has his moments.
Matt Eberflus called plays for the Bears. I mean, after the Montez Sweat trade, you could argue the Bears have the best defense in the NFC.
I mean, yeah, he's going to have good defensive statistics, don't get me wrong, yes. But when it comes down and you need it, you're up 14 with 3 minutes left, I promise you won't want him to be your coach.
Oh, yeah, he's not aggressive. Not enough.
Nah, he'll play sit back,
He'll
cover
play
2
sit back.
defense. You can dot him up all day long, and you go and score your touchdown.
Yeah.
I saw so many teams do that, especially, remember that Lamar Jackson game a few years ago where he had 400 passing yards in the second half because the Colts decided to just play their corners 30 yards back?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's your coach. But the Bears, I think they're going to struggle next year. I don't think they're a good team. I could make a case for them being a playoff team, but I don't think Eberflus is a good coach. I think he's out by week 10.
You think he's out by week 10?
Yeah.
So, do you think what's by week 10? So you think they're
I think at week 10 they're 2-8.
2-8.
2-8.
2-8 is low.
I could either see them. Well, listen. I think this team could be really good, and I think they could win 10, 11 games. But I also could see a case. I'm just giving you 2. And I could also see a case they're 2-8 and they fire him week 10. And I think it's either Caleb Williams going to come in. I think he's going to be really good and be like a C.J. Stroud type year, or he's going to come in and I think he's going to play really bad.
I think he'll be okay his rookie year.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a C.J. Stroud level rookie quarterback, but he's not going to be like a Johnny Manziel.
But one thing with all these new rookie quarterbacks, right? They all come in and they all have offensive-minded young coaches. At least, not necessarily in Houston, but he's still a younger coach. In Chicago, you don't have one, an offensive-minded coach, and 2, he's not young.
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of an interesting thing for me because obviously you look at Richardson in Indianapolis. Steichen's young. You look at Stroud in Houston. Ryans is young. Now you look at Levis in Tennessee. Obviously, what's-his-name's gone now, but they go out and they get another offensive-minded coach
from Cincinnati.
So all these rookie guys are getting these young coaches, and even what's the team? The Commanders. They have a young coach who's going to come in probably for a Jaden Daniels, Jake Maine, whoever they draft. He's going to go into a rookie coach, offensive-minded coach, and then you have Chicago with their coach. And it's just I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't really like him coaching Caleb Williams.
Wait, who's the Manders coach? Didn't they sign Dan Quinn? Is he?
He's their head coach.
Yeah, he's their head coach.
I was
like,
and then
he's
I
not
thought they
young.
went out and got one of these offensive.
No. They signed Dan Quinn.
It's Dan Quinn, but their offensive
coordinator.
The offensive coordinator is young.
Yes, that's who I'm thinking.
Yeah, they signed Lincoln Riley.
He's their. Then I was thinking of Lincoln Riley. I did not know
he's not their head coach.
That guy.
Why
did they bring him in?
Whoever goes to the Commanders is going to turn out as a good quarterback.
Dan
if you have
Quinn
Lincoln Riley as your
offensive coordinator, yeah,
you're fine.
Yeah, Dan Quinn, he has good defensive schemes. He's had some couple top 10 defenses in Dallas for the past couple years.
I've seen him in the Super Bowl too.
Oh yeah,
his defense looked real good.
First half
up 25.
Yeah.
But no, I did not know Dan Quinn got hired over there. That's crazy. Why would you go out and get?
I don't know. There was a lot of coaches available, and they
Shout
went
out
and got
Commanders.
Dan Quinn. I would rather have Mike Vrabel over Dan Quinn.
I was just about to
Mike
say that.
Vrabel. I cannot believe Mike Vrabel is not a head coach
I
anymore.
can't
He'll be a
believe
head
it.
coach next year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would
Someone will get
assume
fired.
Belichick. Hey, what about Mike Vrabel in Chicago? Would you be mad at that?
I wouldn't. I
But
feel like it's
any coach that has Mike Vrabel, like as the head coach, needs to have an amazing offense coordinator next to him.
Yeah, because he's not really.
Because he is not an offensive coach.
He's not a play caller really. He's more of a players coach. He's more of a get the team riled up type of guy, like a Antonio Pearson in Los Angeles, not Los Angeles, Las Vegas. He's gonna come in, get the guys fired up, prepared to play. He's not gonna have schemes drawn up like that.
He's gonna do what an old head coach used to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your old head coaches, they didn't call plays.
No.
They just kind of walked the sidelines and talked the talk.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. But moving along now to some other stuff. Mike Williams to the Jets gets that done 1 year, $15 million deal.
How much help does Aaron Rodgers need?
Who will be throwing to him, we'll see after week 2. Chase Young to the Saints, I believe, in a 1 year, $13 million deal.
overpay.
Yeah, Chase Young was not that good.
Where
He's
did the
never
Saints
been
get the money? They've been in cap
Yeah,
purgatory
where
for
did
like 10
what's going
years.
on there?
I don't know.
In New Orleans. We
Ever
need
since
to
they're-
take an eye on that because they released Slant Boy. That's
They
what
did
I-
release Slant Boy, who has not been signed yet.
That's kind of crazy. There's a lot of names that are still available that just like Justin Simmons. Why is he available? That's just
Justin Simmons is available?
yeah, he's available. He's just sitting in free agency. One of the best safeties in the league.
Oh, my bad. I thought for some reason when you said Justin Simmons, I thought of Jeremy Simmons on the Titans.
Oh,
the D
if
tackle.
he was available,
If he was available, I was
I'd
like,
go pick him up.
how is he still available?
I mean, there's a lot of names. Tyler Boyd, Odell Beckham Jr. all available. Michael Thomas, obviously. DJ Chark. Paris Campbell, really the receivers that have yet to be signed. But I mean, there's names there. Obviously, a lot of big names. I'm looking at a list right now. To see if there's any like big name defenders besides the guy named Javavion Clowney has yet to be signed. If he's still considered a big name.
Maybe not anymore.
Calais Campbell has yet to retire. He's a free agent.
He has yet to retire.
Yannick Ngakoue is still available. Your guy. I know the Bears want him.
No.
Shaq Leonard's still available.
Future Colt.
No. Isaiah Simmons is available. He is still something. Hey, Stephon Gilmore, by the way, still very good. He's played very good last season for the Cowboys. Adoree Jackson. Witherspoon, another guy. Rocky Sin, some valuable players. And then safeties, you have some big names. Julian Blackmon, Tashawn Gibson Sr., Micah Hyde, still available.
Old.
I mean, Micah Hyde's not bad.
He's kind
He's
of
old, but not that bad. Eddie Jackson is still there.
He's old too.
Older. Yeah, I don't know how Jordan Poyer got signed, and all these guys didn't.
It's a great question.
'Cause he's really old. But, yeah, so a lot of signings going on, and once free agency does come to an end, we'll kind of recap everything probably on next episode. But now moving along to the NBA, and, well, we're going to be talking about the playoffs. Since we're only 15 games away, who are we picking for the first round if they started now? So, meaning the 1 will take on the 8. The plans do not matter, or do you want them to matter?
No, plans don't matter. We're just going to go
So we're
through
going
1
1
through 8
through
right
8.
now.
All right, so let's start with the 1 through 8. We're just doing the first round, by the
Yeah.
way. 1 through 8, Thunder versus the Phoenix Suns. Shea versus KD. Kevin Durant returns home against his former team in the playoffs.
I don't know. KD against OKC, it might spark a fire in him. But I'm going to go with the Thunder here. KD in a playoff series is scary if you are OKC. But I think the Thunder are 2-0 or 3-0 against the Suns this year with, pretty, easy, no doubt wins against them. So I'm going to go with the Thunder in this one. So, yeah.
I'm gonna take Thunder in 7. I think their bench will really outlast that Suns bench. I know the Suns usually have KD or Devin Booker or Bradley Beal with the bench unit, but just that Thunder bench of just 3-and-D wings, and then Cason Wallace has really come together this season to be one of the best bench pieces in the league as a rookie. So I'm gonna take Thunder.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take Thunder, too. Just something about Kevin Durant and choking just kind of goes
We
on
were
the floor.
watching the Suns Bucks daytime game when it was close, when Bobby Portis hit 7 threes for whatever reason. And it was a close game. Like, Suns were playing chase, and KD didn't get the ball, like, once in the last 5 minutes of the game.
I don't know. Something about KD and the Suns.
He had like 10 points, 11 points off 10
shots.
I don't
know. I'm just not scared of Kevin Durant like I used to be. I used to fear Kevin Durant and the Warriors.
I think everybody did.
And I used to fear Kevin Durant and the Thunder. But I haven't feared him since his days in Golden State.
I fear Devin Booker more right now than I do KD. Man, nah, never mind.
I mean, when Kevin Durant gets going, he is still a monster, but I'm just talking like as the Suns as a general, I'm not scared of him.
I mean, I think KD's still the same player he was 5 years ago.
I know.
You think he's less aggressive? I mean, he was less aggressive in that Bucks game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, we look at it, and over time, I mean, not too many people are going to say LeBron is any different than LeBron of old. But, man, I remember LeBron of old.
Oh, LeBron of old was different.
He was doing something else. And same with Durant of old. He was doing something else that he is not doing now. But he's still a phenomenal player. But I'm going to say Thunder in 6.
Yeah.
Moving along now, Nuggets versus Mavericks. The Nuggets are the 2. The Mavs are the 7. And, I think it goes as easy as this. I like the Mavericks, and I think they could win. I like Luka. But Luka's never really done much in a playoff series to me. I don't know if he's a winner.
Yeah.
He hasn't proved that to me. Kyrie Irving has only won with LeBron. Give me the Nuggets in 5.
I'm going to go with the Nuggets, too. They definitely have the deeper roster than the Mavericks. Outside of Luka, Kyrie, and sometimes Hardaway, it's not as deep, not even close to as deep as the pieces the Nuggets have. I'm going to go Nuggets in 6 for this one.
I'm going to go Nuggets in 6, too. I think Luka puts up a couple magical performances in this series to, like, make it a series at some points. But I think Jokic does Jokic-type things. And Jamal Murray, there's no person on that backcourt in Dallas that can guard Jamal Murray. Yeah. Kyrie can't do it, and Luka can't do it. So Jamal Murray might have a series.
But that's why the one thing I always thought Dallas should try to do is try to go trade for like an OG Anunoby or something. Because that's one thing they lack is just a defender.
Yeah.
A lockdown defender. They don't have it. Nuggets in 5. Moving along now, the 3 versus the 6. This would be a fun series. The T-Wolves taking on the Kings. I'm going to take the Wolves in this one. I think Anthony Edwards is that guy. I think we're seeing the second coming of a Dwayne Wade-type-esque player. Edwards is phenomenal. He's healthy. He can do it all, and he's got a little bit of risk to him, too. I'm going to take the T-Wolves in 5. I like the Kings. Sabonis just doesn't move me in the playoffs, though. Give me the T-Wolves.
I like the Kings, but it's going to be the Timberwolves. I mean, the number 1 ranked defense in the league. Ever since Cat's been out, Anthony Edwards has been averaging 31, which is insane for a guy that's only 21 years old. I'm going to go Timberwolves here.
I'm going to go Timberwolves, too. Timberwolves have one of the best defenses. Kings have one of the best offenses, but the Kings have no defense. Absolutely no defense. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves. Even if Cat is out for this first-round series, I still think the Timberwolves win in 5 or 6.
Moving along now to a really fun series if it happens. The 4-seeded Clippers taking on the 5-seeded Pelicans. Both teams have been playing really good lately. The Pelicans, I would say, have been probably the best team in the East in the past 10 games. Not in the East, the West. They look really good. Zion's lost weight since the All-Star break. I like the Clippers a lot. This is hard for me because I really like the Clippers. I'm going to take the Clippers in 7 just because of Kawhi. They're finally healthy. This is really the first season that they've been healthy all year. But, man, if the Pelicans are playing almost anyone else, I'd take them. But I'm going to take the Clippers.
I'm taking the Pels in 7. I think they're a much more consistent team than the Clippers. James Harden, Paul George, they all have their games where they shoot 30% from the field. We saw it in a blowout Hawks win the other night, which was crazy how the Clippers lost to a team that didn't have Trae Young, Okongwu, or Griffin healthy. I think for me the biggest thing is consistency, and I think the Pelicans do have that. Zion has been amazing since the All-Star break. You can't say enough about him. You surround him with pieces like CJ, B.I., even guys like Jordan Hawkins and Trey Murphy. They're going to step up. Herb Jones, another name. I think they have the much deeper roster than the Clippers. So I really like the Pelicans in this one.
I'm taking the Pelicans 2 and 7. I think that Zion has been on, like you said, a tear recently, and I think he continues that streak. B.I. is one of the more efficient scorers in the game. I mean, you really can't guard him. He's like Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You can't really block his shot because of how long he is, and he can really shoot over anybody. Yeah, he's got to hope that he misses. So I'm going to take the Pelicans. I think the Clippers do have the defense to keep up, but I think I like the Pelicans bench a lot more than I like the Clippers bench.
All right, that's valid. Moving along now to the Eastern Conference. Flipping things here, we'll start with the 1 versus 8. Right now, it will be the Celtics taking on the Heat. The Heat are the 8, the Celtics are the 1. A Eastern Conference Finals rematch here in the first round. And I don't see any team losing to the Celtics in the East. Give me Boston in 5.
Yeah.
And even though playoff Jimmy is that fella, playoff Jimmy ain't seen this year's Boston
Celtics in
Celtics.
5. Jimmy Butler has one of those 50-point games where they steal one, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And they steal it in Boston.
They steal it in Boston, yeah.
Like game 1 or something.
I'm going to say 5
game.
or 6, yeah. I'm going to say Boston 5 or 6.
Now the 2 versus the 7, and this will be fun. The 2-seeded Milwaukee Bucks taking on the 7-seeded Indiana Pacers. And, well, if it was me, probably any time but now, I'd take Indiana. Indiana's 4-1 on the series versus Milwaukee. But how Tyrese Halliburton's been playing lately, it's almost impossible for me to pick Indiana. They're still winning games, but Halliburton is shooting 19% from 3 in his last 10. He can't hit the back of the barn. If he can't do that, I don't see Indiana getting a game. Right now, give me Bucks in 6. But if Halliburton can go back to averaging 25 a game, I see Indiana in 7. But if not, then give me Milwaukee in 6.
The thing I have with this matchup is the bulk of the Pacers-Bucks matchups came in November and December where Tyrese was otherworldly. I don't see Tyrese playing like that, especially the slump he's been in recently.
But you have to remember, the Bucks have not seen Pascal Siakam this season.
That's true.
That is true.
I don't know. I think if Tyrese is playing this bad when it comes playoff time, I don't think they even have a shot. I'd say Bucks in 5. If Tyrese is playing like realistically good, average, I'd still say Bucks in 6 or 7. If we get November Tyrese back, it's Pacers in 6. But I just don't see that happening. I'm going to take Bucks in a close series, probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, before Tyrese's slump, I might have had Pacers in 7. But ever since then, that All-Star break slump, ever since the All-Star break, it's been terrible. I've watched almost every game since then, and he's just not the same, man. Assist-wise, he's the same.
I mean, he's hurt.
I know he's still hurt.
He's playing hurt, and he's just in a slump.
But when you're out on the court, you're open to criticism. So
I agree.
So since he's out there, you have the right to criticize him. I know he's hurt, but it is what it is. Also, I saw the Bucks absolutely dominate the Phoenix Suns without Giannis. I mean, they hit.
Yeah, the Bucks do that sometimes. They also have Doc Rivers as their coach.
That is true. They'll lose in the second round. But I saw them hit like 25 threes, and Bobby Portis hit 7 of those, and that was enough reason for me to pick Bucks in 6.
Yeah, and Bobby Portis is a fella. Moving along now, 3 versus the 6. Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. I think this is going to be fast. I have Cleveland in 5. I really like the Cavs this year. They've been good. They just continue to get better. And, well, the 76ers, there's a chance Embiid probably doesn't come back. And if he does, he's not going to be 100%. Yeah. Give me Cleveland in 5.
I'm going Cleveland in 6 in this one, especially if whenever they get Donovan Mitchell back, whenever they get Evan Mobley back. I think it's not even going to be close, especially since they're beating teams without Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. So I'm going to go with the Cavs here.
If Embiid plays, I have Sixers in 7. If Embiid does not play, I think even if Embiid isn't 100% healthy, I still take Sixers in 7. But if Embiid doesn't play, I got Clippers. I'm not Clippers. Cavs in 5. Just that simple. I think Embiid changes the game for the Sixers. Opens up the offense a lot more. And now they have Buddy Hield, which is, if he's on, flamethrower. Watch it.
He's usually off, though. Moving along now to the final pick here. Knicks versus Magic, the 4 versus the 5. This one's going to be fun because both these teams, well, they're both very good. But I think it comes down to one player, and one player only, and his name is OG Anunoby. If he is 100% healthy and ready to go in this series, I'm going to take the Knicks in 6. If not, I'll take the Magic in 6. I think he is the difference in this series.
I agree. Ever since they've gotten OG back from injury, obviously he's still playing hurt, but they've gotten him back for a couple games now, and they've looked like a completely different team. It's actually kind of crazy and scary how much OG changes this Knicks squad. They're still pending Randall returning, but I feel like even if Randall doesn't return, I would still take the Knicks in 7 in this series. If he does return, I'd probably take the Knicks in 6. Either way, I can see the Magic taking it. It's going to be a close series, but I'm going to take the Knicks.
If the Knicks are fully healthy, that means OG Anunoby's fully healthy, and Julius Randle's at least 75% healthy. I have Knicks in 5. If Julius Randle's out and OG Anunoby's still healthy, I have like Knicks in 6. But I just don't think that Orlando has the experience like the Knicks have, or the high level of talent. Now, Orlando has talent. Paulo and Franz are very good.
Very good.
But outside of those two, you basically just have a whole bunch of role players.
If your team is led by a 21-year-old, it's usually not a good sign.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Paulo's very good. Don't get me
Paulo's
wrong.
very good. Like I can see Paulo averaging 25 in this series, but I just don't think that
they're not there yet.
I don't think they're not there. No,
They're a year away.
They're a year away.
That's
Next year they're going to be scary.
Yeah.
Oh, you better watch out. But moving along now to our final segment of the day: start, bench, and cut. We have 2 versions for you. We'll start with the NCAA version. Obviously, it's March Madness, so we got a little bit of a March Madness game for you here. Start, bench, cut, college edition. By the way, that means NBA statistics do not matter. This is solely a player in college. Evaluate them like that. Start, bench, cut, college edition. Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, or Zion Williamson.
You want to start first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
You know that picture of Anthony Davis?
Which one?
It's a little graphic of him in Kentucky, and it says that he has more blocks on the season than himself, that other Big Ten teams, or no, not other Big Ten teams, other SEC teams have total as a team on the season. AD as a rim protector in college, one of the greatest college rim protectors of all time, as well as being able to shoot the 3 ball. I'm starting AD, benching. I'm going to go Zion.
No, my goodness.
I'm benching Zion as much as I like Kevin Durant's game. I don't know. Kevin Durant just didn't have that, number 1 player in the country aura. KD, I don't know. I think the hype around Zion was definitely more than the hype around KD, and I feel like he lived up to his hype, which makes me think I think Zion's more of an iconic college basketball player than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to have to say start Anthony Davis, like you said. Him in college was a different beast. I'm going to say bench Zion Williamson. And because, well, at this point, Anthony Davis was the best player in college at one point. Zion Williamson was as well. Kevin Durant never was.
That's true.
There was always a man above him. His name was Greg Oden. And, and that comes down to really that's it. I mean, Zion Williamson was the poster child for college basketball for a whole year. You couldn't get him out of your mouth. He was almost in every sentence anyone said. Yeah, you heard me. But with Kevin Durant, obviously, we were not really too coherent back then, back in the day, whenever that was happening. But I do know there was a man chosen above him and a man that was hyped up more than Kevin Durant, and that is Greg Oden. Give me Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, and then cut Kevin Durant.
I'm saying start Anthony Davis, obviously for what both of y'all said. Anthony Davis at Kentucky, I watched a lot of that season. It was a special season, man.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis in college, one of the greatest college players I've ever witnessed.
He could almost go down as the greatest college center of all time. It's a debate.
I think that might go to Wilt
Anthony Davis
or Kareem.
I'm not saying he is, but
Greg Oden was better than Anthony Davis in college.
He can be put in that top 5 conversation. I'm not saying he is by any means, but he can definitely be put in a conversation. I don't know. That's just me.
2 to bench. I'm going KD. Now, if Greg Oden wasn't in college that season, KD would have been the consistent number 1.
100%.
100%. Now,
But he wasn't.
I know he wasn't. I know he wasn't. But Greg Oden was generational in college. Let's get that. Let's get that out of here. Greg Oden was generational. Zion.
He was generational.
He
in
was.
college.
He was good. But I just like KD more, and I'm cutting Zion.
All right. Now here we go. Start, bench, cut, college edition. Stephen Curry, J.J. Redick, or Jimmer Fredette.
Start Jimmer, bench Steph, bench JJ.
You cutting JJ?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Jimmer Fredette is the consensus.
Yeah, he's
start
a consistent
here, right?
start.
He's a
for me.
college legend.
I'm going bench JJ Redick. cut
You
Curry.
you know he's a college legend when he builds his whole basketball career hype, not even off of his NBA.
Yeah, I'm
Statue.
gonna have to say start Jimmy Fredette. Obviously, man, he's the icon of college basketball. His NBA career was nothing, but his college basketball career is everything. That run they went on with him, what was he doing? Just averaging 30 every night or something, just pulling up from half court. It was crazy. Jimmy Fredette start. I'm gonna say bench Stephen Curry because at the peak of Stephen Curry's college basketball career, I mean, it was just insane. No one's ever seen what he did. It just LeBron was going to his games. It was crazy because they ended up fighting. I mean, everyone was at Steph Curry's games, and it was at a little school, Davidson, a school that didn't really ever do much before him.
Or after.
And well, he was the peak of college basketball one time, and I'm going to have to say bench him. But obviously, J.J. Redick in college was a different guy. He was just a beast.
He was a beast.
At Duke. I mean, he was the most hated guy in America at one point.
I think Grayson Allen.
Well, at that point, yeah, Grayson Allen took that title later. But just this is hard, but I would have to say J.J. Redick is the worst out of those three.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Finally, start, bench, cut, college edition, Shabazz Napier, Kyle Guy, and Carson Edwards.
This one's easy for me.
This is so easy.
I got start Kyle Guy. He won a national championship. Don't give me that look. Either wait, did Shabazz did win a national championship
With as an 8 seed. It's easily Shabazz. I think it's Shabazz, Edwards, Kyle Guy.
I was gonna say Kyle Guy, Edwards, Napier.
You're about to put Napier as a cut?
Yeah, that Carson Edwards run. I know he lost, but he was carrying that Purdue team.
People forget the Shabazz Napier run.
Yeah.
He was insane. He went from a guy who was not even supposed to be drafted, and he got somehow moved up in the first round of the NBA draft.
Yeah.
After that run.
Did
he do anything in the NBA? No. But LeBron really liked him.
I'm gonna just say this. For me, it's start Napier, obviously won the national championship as an 8 seed. Carson Edwards, I'm gonna bench him. The stuff that he was doing in that March Madness run, especially in that game against Virginia when he was just pulling up from anywhere and hitting, he was the only reason Purdue was even, close in any of those games. He didn't win a national championship like this other guy, Kyle Guy, but Kyle Guy he wasn't the best player on his team. I'd say it was still DeAndre Hunter, who was the best player on the Virginia Cavaliers that year. So I think it's got to be, for me personally, I think it's start Napier, bench Edwards, cut Kyle Guy.
Now that you said that, I'm gonna redo my list a little bit. It's Napier, Edwards, Guy, for sure.
Right. For me, I'm gonna say start Carson Edwards. When he was at his peak in college basketball during that run, obviously he was just pulling up from like 35 feet. Every time, double overtime. It don't matter. Carson Edwards was knocking it down. I'm gonna say bench Shabazz Napier, a phenomenal player. Obviously went on a run, but I would say Edwards gets a little bit of the upwards in my picks, and then I'm going to say bench Kyle Guy. Like you said, he wasn't even the best player on his team. Indiana legend, by the way, but Kyle Guy, for me, is going to have to be the cut.
Yeah,
but finally, we're switching now to an NFL start, bench, cut, and this is going to be a little bit different, okay? So we're going to do start, bench, cut of NFL offenses, and there's a few you're going to have to – I'm going to name 4, and you're going to say start, bench, cut, and then release is the 4th. And cut, release mean the same thing, but since there's 4, we're just going to go with it. So you have a start, bench, cut, and then release here. I'm a little bit different, but we're going to start out. I'm going to name the offenses because we're going to do just NFL offenses that are really bad. So the Giants offense with quarterback Daniel Jones, Devin Singletary is their running back. Their receiver 1 is Darius Slayton, and their tight end 1 maybe is Darren Waller. He might retire. Another offense, quarterback Justin Herbert, running back Gus Edwards, receiver 1, Quentin Johnson, and tight end Will Dizzy. God, that's bad. The Broncos offense, Jared Stidham, running back Javonte Williams, receiver 1, Courtland Sutton, and tight end Adam Truman.
Wow.
Never said that name in my life. And then the Panthers offense with quarterback Bryce Young, running back Chuba Hubbard, receiver 1, Dante Johnson, and then obviously Tommy Tremble as their tight end. Start, bench, cut, release. Those 4 NFL offenses.
Okay.
I think the start is easiest.
I don't know.
I think because there's only one, like, above average quarterback on this list.
I'm gonna say start Chargers.
Start Chargers.
Okay.
Because they have a quarterback that the other teams just don't.
Actually, just don't.
I'm gonna bench the Broncos because obviously, yeah, they have Jarrett Stidham starting right now, but that's not gonna be their starter. Obviously, they're gonna probably pick a quarterback in this draft. So, I'm gonna say bench Broncos, cut.
Panthers or Giants?
God, this is terrible. If the Giants still had Saquon, I'd say I'm benching. Or no, I'm cutting the Panthers and I'm releasing the Giants.
I'm starting the Chargers.
Okay.
I'm benching the Panthers. At least they have a quarterback that I could somewhat turn out. I'm benching the Panthers. Deontay Johnson is good too.
Yeah.
I'm cutting the Giants because at least they have a quarterback too.
Who's the Giants wide receiver one? Like
Jalen Hyatt.
The Giants receiver one right now is Darius Slayton.
Oh my god.
That sucks.
And Darren Waller's their tight end, and I heard he was retired, and now
I think he was thinking about it.
I don't know. Like, it's 50-50. So
and then I'm gonna release the Broncos because as of right now, because Jarrett Stidham is the starting quarterback.
As of right now, I'm releasing the Broncos any day. But
all right, I'm gonna say I'll start the Chargers because they have Justin Herbert, even though everything else there is so bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
It's bad. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna say I'm gonna bench the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because I would say Bryce Young is younger and could improve, and they got Deontay Johnson, and he's still a good receiver. And then this is where it gets hard. The cutting and the releasing is hard because this Broncos and Giants teams are both really bad. But I'm going to say cut the Broncos because at least they have Courtland Sutton and Devontae Williams, both two guys who could be good. And Jarrett Stidham's not terrible.
Yeah.
He's not good, but then I would say the Giants. I would say release the Giants into the XFL or whatever.
Demote them.
Darren Waller's probably gone. He's not even good anymore. Daniel Jones is not good at football. Devin Singletary is bad, and Darius Slayton being receiver one is scary.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got. But yeah, release the Giants. Off to the XFL you go. But as always, it's been fun. Episode 18 in the books. Make sure to follow us on all social medias, including TikTok. Daily video should be coming out there. Had a little bit of a slack, you could say, these past few days, but things come up. But usually videos are going to happen every day, so stay on the lookout for that. Episode 18 in the books. As always, it's been fun. And until next time.
Yes, sir.
See you.